Hey, it's Neville from Copywriting Course here. And I want to answer a question I get quite a few times, which is, what can I do as an absolute beginner? Now, someone who is asking this question is generally asking the question, I want to become a copywriter. How do I get started? What's the first steps? So I actually have 3 recommendations for you. The first one is to see if you want to become a copywriter in the first place. Do you like copywriting? Do you like writing at all? A lot of people will think they want to become a copywriter because in their head, they have it in their mind that I'm just going to sit on a laptop on a beach in Thailand writing words and people will magically pay me a bunch of money for it. Well, okay, but they often don't think that maybe I actually have to do the work in the end. So a lot of these people will say, I want to become a copywriter, but then they realize they don't even like writing. They don't like sitting down at a computer and typing stuff. They don't like sitting down at a computer and writing an assignment they have. They don't like sitting around at a computer and writing an article through completion. So my first recommendation is to publish 3 things online. That's it. 3 things. Some of you maybe have already done this. Maybe you've maintained a blog for a long time. Maybe you've published a bunch of articles on Medium already. In that case, you probably show an aptitude for being a writer because you already enjoy writing for fun. So I would encourage you, if you haven't written anything online, try getting 3 articles out the door. Anything. I don't care about what. Write it about your dog. Write it about how to make pasta. Make any sort of articles and publish them on medium.com, blogger.com, wordpress.com, your own website, wherever. If you can get 3 full articles out the door, then maybe you have a chance at becoming a copywriter because you actually enjoy the work. Tip number 2 is to read some copywriting books. So books are the easiest way to get knowledge for the cheapest amount of money. So you can watch YouTube videos, all that kind of stuff, but I would always suggest copywriting books, some of the classic books and texts out there. And I'll go through my top 3. I have a bunch more I recommend, and we'll put the links in the video, but here are my top 3 recommendations, starting with The Boron Letters by Gary Halbert. You may notice I have printed these out literally on a printer. What's that? So I printed out all these letters, and you can find them for free online. It's called the Gary Halbert Letters. Just Google that. And in fact, if you just type in The Boron Letters, you can find this and print these all out. So I printed out all 20-something chapters and read them. And this was my first intro into copywriting when I used to own an e-commerce business. Now, these letters were written by this famous copywriter named Gary Halbert. He's a kind of a wacky guy, but very good at teaching. And he wrote these letters to his son from jail. That's weird, huh? So anyways, that's what I would recommend first. I'll talk about those in a future video. But for now, just download the Boron Letters by Gary Halbert and read those. It's very polarizing. It's a little bit rough around the edges. But I think it is one of the best intros to marketing and copywriting I've ever read in the world, and it's completely free. The next one is a book called the Adweek Copywriting Handbook. Now, you may be thinking I'm holding up the wrong book, but this was the original title, Advertising Secrets of the Written Word by Joseph Sugarman, a famous copywriter who I love because even in the 70s, 80s, when he was really, really big and up on the upswing, he was never scammy like a lot of weirdo direct marketers. So I would highly recommend this. It's been retitled to the Adweek Copywriting Handbook. And then the next and last book I would recommend I'm just truncating it to 3 is Ogilvy on Advertising. David Ogilvy, the guy who was kind of the character recommendation for Mad Men. This guy right here, he's one of the legends in advertising. And while he doesn't talk that much about like email and stuff like that, because this book is old, he talks about how do you get a whole country to change the brand of rice they buy? How do you get people to visit a certain part of the world? He talks about large-scale advertising, and he's a big fan of direct mail over normal creative advertising. So this guy is one of the OGs, and this is one of the few books I keep around on my desk all the time to reference. The other one, if you want a quick and dirty intro to how I write, is my own book called This Book Will Teach You How to Write Better. I think you can get this on Amazon still for really, really cheap. So I would suggest picking this one up. Look how thin it is. I mean, you can read this in 25, 30 minutes. A lot of people tell me they will write emails and read this first to get some inspiration. I think it's a quick and dirty intro, and I think you'll like it. And finally, my third tip on the question, what can I do as an absolute beginner, is to see if you just want to freelance in general or copywriting really is your thing. So after, like I told you, first publish 3 articles to see if you even like writing. Next, read those 3 books. And then at the end, consider, do you really think you can do writing, that you could do copywriting as a career or as a side job? Or do you want to just freelance in general? A lot of the people that have come to me saying, I want to become a copywriter, I actually tell them, wait, it seems you have a lot of experience being a web designer. Perhaps for your freelancing career, you should do freelance web design as the main thing and copywriting as a side project. I wouldn't brand yourself as just a copywriter. So my third tip is always, are you trying to become a copywriter because you just want to start freelancing and that's the way that you think you should go? Or are you just trying to freelance in general? So these are my 3 quick tips I'll reiterate. Number 1, see if you like writing at all. Make 3 pieces and push them out the door. 2, read some copywriting books. I recommend the Boron Letters, the Adweek Copywriting Handbook, and Ogilvy on Advertising. And number 3, do you want to just freelance in general, or is copywriting really the way to go? So after doing those first 2 steps, I would say re-ask yourself this question. And if copywriting is still the way to go, perhaps that's something I can help you out with. Join the members area. We help you out with everything. Otherwise, we direct people to freelance in other ways. So those are my recommendations for if you want to become a copywriter and what to do as an absolute beginner. Hope this helps. I'm Neville Medora from Copywriting Course. Talk to you later.